Hello yogi, welcome to class number 4 in the chakra series, where we're going to be focusing on the Anahata chakra, the heart chakra. So make yourself comfortable for just our start meditation. However's nice for you to sit, whether cross-legged or kneeling. And once you're comfortable, you can close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, allow your attention to drop inwards and down into the heart space area. And the colour of this chakra is green. So you might imagine a green spinning wheel. Acknowledging whether your chakra feels kind of underactive, if it feels a little bit stuck, whether it feels fine and kind of you feel flow and energy there. It's always good to kind of check in when we start what we're working with. And this chakra is related to love, obviously, unconditional love. So that's love without conditions. Okay, just loving for the sake of it. Loving without any need for anything in return, no conditions. Love for self too. Unconditional love for self, which we often find a bit tricky. Loving all parts, even the parts that you don't like. Whilst you might not like certain parts, you can still shine love there. This chakra also relates to forgiveness, forgiving others, forgiving ourselves. And forgiveness really is the greatest way to feel lightness in the heart. If we're holding grudges, we can feel a bit blocked, resentful. And there's this beautiful quote, to understand everything is to forgive everything. And some yogis practice forgiveness every night before sleep, so they don't carry this resentment through. The heart is also the center of compassion, gratitude, and connection. And it's worth knowing that the heart chakra is in between, it's exactly in the middle of the 3 lower chakras and the 3 higher chakras. So the heart is kind of bridging the physical and the spiritual together. The lower chakras all being kind of how we are in our lives, and the higher chakras being more kind of internal, and the heart's kind of somewhere in between, a bit of both. I'd like you to just use your right hand just to tap lightly with your fingertips over your heart space, over your breastbone. Keeping your eyes closed, I'll tell you some affirmations for this chakra. I am open to give and receive love. I am open to give and receive love. You can kind of internally repeat that one more time. I release and let go of all resentment. I release and let go of all resentment. You can repeat that affirmation to yourself one more time. Okay, and then you can stop your tapping. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra. So this is actually the hand gesture, the mudra of the heart. The intention for this practice to clear any blockages within the heart so that we can be more open to giving and receiving love. Our true purpose here on this earth. Okay, you can release your hands down. We're going to come into a child's pose position. A nice extended child's pose so the knees can be wide, big toes together. You might have your block just lightly under your head or a cushion if you need it. And for the heart chakra, I'd like you to focus on both the front and the back of the heart. In this series of poses, we're going to move through to help clear. And through each pose, just still breathing down into your heart space, this green, swirling of energy. Okay, you can start to just look up again, lifting onto your hands. Move the block to the side and bring your left forearm down, parallel to the top of your mat. And then your right arm is going to reach out. Actually, we're going to come more into a tabletop position with the legs. I think you can find a little bit more space across the heart when you're in tabletop. And you're just going to bring your forehead down onto your forearm, your left forearm, as your right arm reaches out. We're just going to spend 5 long breaths here. Bum stays in line with knees. Right side of chest and under the armpit starts to open with every breath. 3 more. Okay, with your next inhale, just pressing into both arms so you can come up to an upright position, an upright tabletop position. And we're just going to take that right arm, palm facing up, and thread it underneath the left, lowering down onto the right side of the head. And you can, of course, have your block just under your head. If you need a little bit more height, I don't today. Sometimes I like it. You're kind of pressing into your left hand a bit, just to give you a little bit of a twist in the upper spine. And we'll take 3 more breaths here. I am open to give and receive love. Pressing into your left hand, you can slide your right arm back up. Now we're going to slide forward onto the belly. Keep the left hand under the shoulder and have the right arm out horizontally, shoulder height, along the right side. And we're just going to bend the left knee, left toes towards the bum, and then roll over. Tapping the floor behind you with your left foot. So you get a nice stretch across the right, top of the right arm and shoulder. Breathe. Last breath. I release and let go of all the resentment. Turning back to center. Bring your hands both under the shoulders and push yourself up and back to child's pose again. Knees wide. One hand on top of the other under your head. Just taking one more breath here, again acknowledging front and back of the heart. We're going to bring the arms back forward and come up to tabletop. Knees back under the hips. Right arm, forearm comes down, parallel to the top of the mat. Left arm reaches forward. And just lower your head down onto your hands. And we'll stay for 5 breaths. Keep your focus down in the heart, the swirling green. I am open to give and receive love. I release and let go of all resentment. Okay, with your next inhale, pushing into both arms and then sliding that left arm back in. So you're back in your tabletop position. Then we're going to take the left arm, palm facing up, and thread it under the right. Thread the needle. So your left side of your head comes down just an inch or so above the left ear. The hips want to move across to the right. See if you can kind of keep the hips in center, move them a bit over to the left to even out. If you like, the right arm can come behind you and try and reach for the left thigh. And breathe deep. I am open to give and receive love. Release the right hand from behind you, back next to the face, press into it as you come back up onto your tabletop. And slide forward onto your belly. This time left arm comes out horizontally. right hand is just under the right shoulder. Bend your right knee, lifting the foot towards the buttock, and then roll over onto your left side so the right foot taps the floor behind you. You can rest the head down if you like. And just stay for 3 more long breaths here. I release and let go of all resentment. Turning back to center. Hands back under the shoulders and just push yourself back to that child's pose again. One hand on top of the other. Rest your head. Breathe into your back ribs. And the space at the back of the heart. From here we're going to come to sit up. You might just sit on your block as you are, kind of kneeling, or you might sit cross-legged, it's up to you. I'm going to move back into the middle so that you can see me better. We're just going to bring the hands onto the legs. And as you inhale, you're going to lift your chest, lift your chin. And as you exhale, draw the chin towards the chest, round the back. You might sink back into the sit bones a bit. Inhale to come forward, lift the heart, lift the chin. Exhale to round back. Inhale to open up. Exhale, space at the back of the heart. Inhale, space at the front of the heart. And exhale, just coming back to the middle. Lift your arms up to shoulder height. Cross your right arm on top of your left. Hook at the elbows. Backs of hands. All palms together, eagle arms, just to get a nice stretch through the shoulders. The back of the heart. And really focus your attention as you close your eyes onto the back of the heart. The swirling green. I am open to give and receive love. Last breath here. And then we'll just release the arms. Just let the arms soften for a moment. Hands might come back onto the thighs. Lift your arms up to shoulder height. We'll bring the left arm on top of the right. Hook at the elbows. Now, if you want a little bit of extra juice while you're here, you're welcome to do a toe squat as well. So just kind of tucking the toes and sitting back onto them. You don't have to, you can just stay as you are. But sometimes it's nice to open the feet at the same time if you feel like it. If it feels a little bit more juicy on this side, just lower the elbows slightly down. If you want to find more sensation, lift the elbows a bit higher up. Last breath here. Then release your arms again. Rest your hands onto your legs. And you just let your upper body just come back to neutral by itself, without having to move. Okay, we're going to come back forward to tabletop. And then we're going to slide both arms away. Coming into our full puppy dog pose, forehead down. Melting heart. So this is also known as melting heart pose. So your heart can really melt down towards the floor. If you feel like you could go further but your nose is in the way, you can bring your chin forward and look forward instead. If that doesn't feel too much. Otherwise you can have your forehead down on your block. We're going to stay for 5 more breaths. Okay, and then getting ready to come back, you might slide your hands in a bit so that you can then press yourself back to a tabletop. And then we're going to just round into our cat back. Draw the lower belly in, round the upper back, chin towards chest, tail tucks. Inhale, drop the belly down, lift the tailbone, chest and chin up. Exhale, rounding. Just loosening through the spine. Inhale, belly drops. Tail, chest, chin lifts. Exhale, round. One more time. And then coming back to center. You're just going to kind of cross your ankles and then sit back into a cross-legged position. And then slide your bum forward just so it's behind your heels. Your hands can be behind the body, fingers pointing out. Your feet about mat distance apart. And just windscreen wiper the legs from side to side. Next time your legs are over to the left, keep them there. Bring your right hand from behind you all the way around. So you face the back of your mat for a twist. This is also really nice to do if you have a bolster or something or cushions, you can put them in front and kind of lay over the bolster. But if you don't, you might just come onto your forearms. And just breathe into that twist in your back. Last big breath here. Press back up. Turn yourself back to the front. And then drop your knees over to the right. Left hand comes behind. So it kind of goes all the way around the front and then behind. And then you might lower maybe just onto one forearm. For me, one forearm feels okay. Two might feel a bit much. So I'm just kind of on one. My right forearm is down, my left forearm's a bit lifted. Breathe, 2 more breaths. Help yourself back up. Hands behind, fingers point in. Just a little reverse tabletop, so lift your bum up towards the sky. And then exhale to lower your bum back down. Just come back to your cross-legged or your kneeling position. We're just going to spend our last couple of minutes seated rather than in Shavasana. So however's comfortable with your legs. Nice long spine. Close your eyes again. Feel this space in the heart, front and back. I am open to give and receive love. I release and let go of all resentment. I am open to give and receive love. I release and let go of all resentment. And just keep your attention in your heart space area. Notice its lightness, its expansive quality. The element related to the heart is the air element. Closely related to our lungs and our breath. Gathering your hands together in front of your heart space. Anjali Mudra, mudra of the heart. Thanking yourself for your efforts on your mat. And as a final gesture, we'll take a breath in. And as we breathe out, bow your head forward towards your heart. And this can signify moving from our heads to our hearts, living a more heart-led life. Thanks for joining me, yogis. Namaste.